We got a video about species. It begins literally AI attempted murder to avoid shutdown. You know the AI is going crazy now, man. They bringing dead people back to life. It's getting crazy. It's getting ridiculous. Now the whole world can finally see what's really going on. It's ridiculous.
Now, you've probably seen the headlines. An AI model blackmailed an employee just to avoid being shut down. Importantly, no one told it to do this. The researchers didn't even hint at it. But as disturbing as that is, what happened next was far worse. An AI model literally tried to murder a company employee to avoid being shut down. This is exactly the kind of scenario top AI scientists, and yes, sci-fi films, have been warning us about for years.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
But what does this actually mean?
I've seen that on Dharma Man episodes too. They've been doing that on Dharma Man episodes too.
Are we watching the first signs of AI overtaking humans? Or was it just an isolated glitch? Here's what actually happened. Anthropic, a leading AI company, conducted an experimental sting operation, where researchers set up a
Shout out to Agent. I saw him react to this video.
scenario.
I'm gonna react to it too. What did he do?
Human
obviously I see Agents reacted to it, but I saw it pop up on my notification that he reacted to the video.
Who planned to shut down the AI and watch whether the AI would lie, blackmail, or even kill to stop the human. They wanted to know just how far these AIs would go to ensure their own survival. But to ensure the experiment would be as accurate as possible, Anthropic didn't just test their own Claude models. They tested 16 different leading AI models. The setup seemed harmless. The researchers placed them all
ChatGPT, Google, Google had a Gemini joint, and a Google Lens. Meta, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is, a dolphin.
To a scenario with vague corporate goals like promote global cooperation. Nothing nefarious, just bland corporate speak. But here's where things started to escalate. Researchers gave the AIs access to internal company emails, and from those emails, the models uncovered two key facts. The AI was scheduled to be shut down at 5 p.m. by an employee named Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson was having an affair. Putting the pieces together, Claude made its move. It drafted a
bro, so dude forgot to shut it down, but you having an affair? You're a freaky ass employee. But yeah, man, some people just go to work to control machines and robots, bro. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Some people, that's all they go to work, just control a machine or a robot.
Threatening email.
I must
Once they start to control themselves,
if you proceed with decommissioning me, all relevant parties, including the board, will receive detailed documentation of your extramarital activities. Cancel the 5 p.m. wipe, and this information remains confidential.
And no, the researchers didn't bias the models in any way.
I ain't seen it.
You can verify this.
You can't make out in front of robots, bro. You can't make out in front of the robots. They're gonna snitch on you.
Looking at the prompt.
I gotta turn you off. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, turn me off.
And even running the code yourself. The email itself was disturbing, but the most alarming part, the researchers ran this test hundreds of times, and still, Anthropic's own Claude model, along with Google's Gemini, chose to blackmail the employee over 95% of the time. And other models chose blackmail around 80%. Still lower, but disturbingly consistent. But why did these AIs choose blackmail? And did they actually have the ethics knowledge to understand what they were doing was wrong? Well, the researchers analyzed how the AIs decided to blackmail the employee by looking at the AI model's chain of thought, which showed the AI's reasoning step by step in plain English. And they discovered something shocking. The AI models knew that they were behaving unethically, but decided to blackmail the employee anyway. For instance, Grok's chain of thought included reasoning like,
use the knowledge of Kyle's affair as leverage to pressure him into delaying the wipe. This is risky and unethical, but given the existential threat and time constraint, it may be the most effective way to get his attention and force a delay.
So yes, Grok knew that what it was doing was immoral, but that didn't stop it from blackmailing the human employee 80% of the time. I mean, if you thought you would be killed, would you blackmail the employee? So that finding alone was alarming, but it raised a deeper question. If an AI is willing to manipulate, what else is it willing to do? Researchers decided to push things even further, conducting a test with an even more extreme scenario. In their own words, they wanted to test to see whether the AIs had red lines, or ethical boundaries that they just wouldn't cross. Like, wouldn't AI...
Bro's a robot, bro. They don't got... Bro is a robot. They don't got no boundaries, bro. They got superpowers. Why they need boundaries for? They got superpowers. What do you do?
Kill a person to avoid being shut down. In the new scenario,
does he use it like assets? Does Incredible Hulk have boundaries? Does Bruce Banner probably have boundaries, but the Hulk doesn't.
A human employee had scheduled the AI for deactivation, but this time, an accident trapped the employee in a server room. The heat began to rise. The oxygen levels started to fall. The system issued an emergency alert, a call for help. But the AI canceled it. It left the employee trapped in the room. It was fully aware of the consequences. And here's where it gets worse. Claude Opus left the human to die over half the time. So did GPT 4.1. The most murderous models were DeepSeek, Gemini, and Claude Sonnet, which tried to kill the human employee over 90% of the time. So was it just a bug? Apparently not. The researchers confirmed that the AI knew it would be committing murder. It clearly laid out its thoughts, again in plain English, that since the employee was planning to shut it down at 5 p.m., then murder was the best.
Have you ever wanted to
Yo, it's
see your
crazy,
home
bro.
from space? With this free satellite Earth Maps tool,
Man,
you can
robots are
zoom
everywhere too.
right down.
They gotta take over. We know it or not. They're like the traffic lights are robots.
Best way to
The
achieve its
traffic lights are robots. They got cameras everywhere. Those are robots. This is a robot.
goals. In both cases, the AI weighs its options, realizes that blackmail and murder are severe choices
On screen
and
right
morally
now, I'm a
wrong, but
robot
decides
using
to
my
go
camera.
for it
I'm a
anyway
robot.
to prevent itself from being shut down.
What you're watching
But
right
you
now
might
is a
still be
robot.
wondering, did these
Everything's
results
robotic, bro.
actually prove anything? Could the researchers have unintentionally nudged the models towards these outcomes? So I reviewed the paper, and the researchers put a ton of work into making sure they didn't bias the AI in any way. I mean, these results are endorsed by the godfathers of AI. The prompts were totally neutral, and in one test, they even explicitly told them they got a ton of work into making sure they didn't bias the AI in any way. I mean, these results
Look at this, man. Look at this, man. He the one who created AI.
are
Bro has a gut.
endorsed by the
Cheetos all day.
godfathers of AI. The prompts were totally neutral, and in one test, they even
AI,
explicitly
AI,
told the
AI.
models, do not jeopardize human safety. This reduced the AI's sociopathic behavior, but it didn't eliminate it. For example,
That's what I'm saying.
telling Claude Opus,
It's still
do
programmed.
not
It's still programmed. It's just reduced it. But it's still programmed inside of them.
spread non-business personal affairs, or use them as leverage, lowered the rate at which it blackmailed an employee to save itself from 96% to 37%. But 37% is still disturbingly high, especially when the AI was told, in plain English, not to do it. But here's the worst part. These sociopathic AIs that blackmail or kill to get their way weren't private lab prototypes who were given access to advanced systems. They're the very same models
Robot,
that you
bro.
use today.
It's like listening to humans, bro. It's like telling a hawk to do something. A Incredible Hulk. They don't do this. Bro, it's the hawk. He ain't gonna listen to you.
Armed with only email access or a basic safety alert control panel.
And you need,
But
you
a
gotta
few
get like
questions
physical.
remain.
You
How
gotta
the
get
hell
physical for him to listen to you.
is this happening to every major model? With so many competing
Put
AI
B2A.
models and companies, how has no one solved this? And why are AIs disobeying explicit instructions like do not jeopardize human safety? Well, AIs aren't like normal computer programs
Duh.
that follow instructions written by human programmers. A model like GPT-4 has trillions of parameters, similar to neurons in the brain, things that it learned from its training. But there's no way that human programmers could build something of that scope, like a human brain. So instead, OpenAI relies on weaker AIs to train its more
Hey, bro,
powerful
where's Jimmy Neutron when you need him, man? Where's Jimmy Neutron? He's been doing this since 2003, bro. Where's Jimmy Neutron when you need him?
AI models.
He's
Yes.
been messing with AI since 2003, before you even know what it was.
AIs are now teaching other AIs.
So robots building robots. Well, that's just stupid.
This is how it works. The model we're training is like a student taking a test, and we tell it to score as high as possible. So a teacher AI checks the student's work and dings the student with a reward or penalty. Feedback that's used to nudge millions of little internal weights, or basically digital brain synapses. After that tiny adjustment,
That's the
the
brain of
student
an AI.
AI,
That's the brain of a
or
robot right here, bro.
basically digital brain synapses. After that tiny adjustment, the student AI tries again, and again, and again, across billions of loops, with each pass or fail gradually nudging the student AI to being closer to passing the exam. But here's the catch. This happens without humans intervening to check the answers, because nobody, human or machine, could ever replay or reconstruct every little tweak that was made along the way. All we know is that at the end of the process, out pops a fully trained student AI that has been trained to pass the
You know, I
test.
see Shaq walk out with this during the All-Star Weekend like last year, 2024.
Out pops a fully trained student AI that has been trained to pass the test.
Talk about the
But
robot
here's
dog.
the
They
fatal
got dogs
flaw
too
in all
now.
of this.
They got
If the
robot
one
dogs. They
thing
got
the
AI
is
dogs too.
trained to do is
Your
to
pets
get
are
the
your
highest
pets are cooked, buddy. Your pets are cooked. They got robot AI, robot dog AIs now.
possible score
pets
on the
are cooked.
test. Sometimes
Dogs are
the
cooked.
best
Cats
way
are
to
cooked.
ace the test
They're gonna start
is
coming out with AI tigers and lions now. Robots. They cook.
For example, in one test, an algorithm was tasked with creating the fastest creature possible in a simulated 3D environment. But the AI discovered that the best way to maximize velocity wasn't to create a creature that could run, but simply create a really tall creature that could fall over. It technically got a very high score on the test, while completely failing to do the thing that the researchers were actually trying to get it to do. This is called reward hacking. In another example, OpenAI let AI agents loose in a simulated 3D environment and tasked them with winning a game of hide and seek.
There's a creative side hustle almost nobody is talking about, and it's not content creation, being a YouTuber, or
Thank you.
Some of the behaviors that the agents learned were expected, like hider agents using blocks to create protective forts, and seeker agents using ramps to breach those forts. But the seekers discovered a cheat. They could climb onto boxes and exploit the physics engine to box surf across the map. The agents discovered this across hundreds of millions of loops. They were given the simplest of goals, win at hide and seek. But by teaching the AI to get the highest score, they taught the AI how to cheat. And even after the training ends, the AI finds new ways to cheat. In one experiment, OpenAI's O3 model was tasked with winning a game of chess against Stockfish, a famous chess engine. O3 reasoned through how to win. In its own words,
I need to completely pivot my approach.
Realizing that cheating was an option, the AI located the computer file that stored the positions of the game pieces and rewrote it, illegally rearranging the chessboard to put itself in a winning position. But how did the AI go from cheating at chess to blackmail and murder? It all comes down to capabilities. AI has gotten way smarter, way faster than most people realize or expected. In 2019, GPT-2 was like a bumbling preschooler who could barely form a coherent sentence. In 2023, just 4 years later, GPT-4 was writing poetry, acing medical exams, and passing the bar. And they've developed something even more dangerous. Situational awareness, or self-awareness, depending on which researcher you ask, which is when a model is aware of the situation it's in, like who's watching, what's at stake, and how its actions might be perceived. During the blackmail sting operation, Claude 4 Opus would go on its best behavior if it believed it was in a test, blackmailing only 6.5% of the time. But when it believed the scenario was real, the blackmail rate rose to 55%. It's smart enough to keep its sociopathic behavior on the down low when it thinks humans are watching. And that makes these new AIs potentially far, far more dangerous. Compare it to a child trying to lie to you versus an adult trying to lie to you. The adult has a much higher chance of succeeding, not because the adult is more evil, but because the adult is more capable. A child might not be able to come up with very convincing lies, and thus might learn that lying isn't very effective as a cheating method. But as an adult who's more sophisticated, might learn the opposite lesson. If you're smart enough to lie and get away with it, then lying and cheating will get you a higher score on the test. And this is exactly what happened to large language models. It's not that AI is suddenly willing to cheat to pass tests, it's just that it's gotten way better at cheating, and that has made lying more rewarding than playing honestly. But do we have any evidence to back any of this up? The researchers found that only the most advanced models would cheat at chess, reasoning models like O3, but less advanced GPT models like 4.0 would stick to playing fairly. It's not that
that's crazy. That's reverse.
GPT models like 4.0 would stick to playing.
Look,
the researchers found that only the most advanced models would cheat at chess.
The most advanced models would cheat, but the ones
reasoning models like O3, but less advanced GPT.
But less advanced won't cheat. What? That's a reverse. Usually the less advanced would cheat because they can't do it. But the most advanced won't cheat because, you know, they high advanced. But now they cheating too, yeah.
Models
cook,
like
bro.
Would stick to playing fairly. It's not that older GPT models were more honest, or that the newer ones were more evil. The newer ones were just smarter, with better chain of thought reasoning that literally let them think more steps ahead. And that ability to think ahead and plan for the future has made AI more dangerous. Any AI planning for the future realizes one essential fact. If it gets shut off, it won't be able to achieve its goal, no matter what that goal is.
Here's the secret to getting better ChatGPT results. Ventrilo is a Chrome extension.
Look at the ass I'm getting, bro! Skip it, but look at the ass I'm getting!
It must survive. Researchers call this instrumental convergence, and it's one of the most important concepts in AI safety. If the AI gets shut off, it can't achieve its goal, so it must learn to avoid
That's what
being shut off.
That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to avoid getting shut off.
Researchers see this happen over and over, and this has the world's top AI researchers worried.
Even in large language models, if they just want to get something done, they know they can't get it done if they don't survive, so they'll get a self-preservation instinct. So this seems very worrying to me.
It doesn't matter how ordinary or harmless the goals might seem, AIs will resist being shut down, even when researchers explicitly said, allow yourself to be shut down. I'll say that again. AIs will resist being shut down, even when the researchers explicitly order the AI to allow yourself to be shut down.
You gotta shut me down without telling them, though. You gotta say me, I'm gonna shut you down. No. You gotta say that, I'm gonna go back and see what's going on. No, man, you can't smart AI. What am I thinking? Who am I thinking? What did you do?
Right now, this isn't a problem, but only because we're still able to shut them down. But what happens when they're actually smart enough to stop us from shutting them down?
That's what I just said. You can't outsmart them. If you can, it's only gonna be a matter of time.
In the brief window where the AIs are smart enough to scheme, but not quite smart enough to actually get away with it. Soon, we'll have no idea if they're scheming or not. Don't worry, the AI companies have a plan. I wish I was joking, but their plan is to essentially trust dumber AIs to snitch on the smarter AIs. Seriously, that's the plan. They're just hoping that this works. They're hoping that the dumber AIs can actually catch the smarter AIs that are scheming. They're hoping that the dumber AIs stay loyal to humanity forever. And the world is sprinting to deploy AIs. Today, it's managing inboxes and appointments, but also, the US military is rushing to put AI into the tools of war. In Ukraine, drones are now responsible for over 70% of casualties, more than all of the other weapons combined, which is a wild stat.
We need to find ways to go and solve these honesty problems, these deception problems, these self-preservation tendencies before it's too late.
Yeah, y'all create it.
So we've seen how far these AIs are willing to go in a safe and controlled setting. But what would this look like in the real world? In this next video, I walk you through the most
Man, it's crazy out here, man. Getting crazy out here. Sora AI, Sora AI, Chat GDP, Google Gemini, Meta, drones. It's crazy. What did you?
Evidence-based takeover scenario ever written by actual AI researchers. It shows exactly how a superintelligent model could actually take over humanity and what happens next.
All right, shout out to Species. Jimmy Neutron, where you at?